Alejandro Bedoya från Örebro.
Scored a very nice goal last week against Syrianska. And you put it on your Twitter account.
Yeah. Share it with my followers, you know.
Yeah, and I saw you even had connection with Stuart Holden, the Bolton, and a lot of other players. You seem very active with social media, American players.
Yeah, it's. I would say it's very popular in America. I think social media is the new it. You know, it's the way you connect with fans and family and friends from back home. And you know, using Facebook and Twitter allows you to do many things around the world.
Yeah, it's terrible. You have more followers than us two together.
Does he have more than you?
Yeah, he has more than if we add.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's big.
I have nothing compared to the other guys.
Yeah, no.
I'm down here.
Who are you comparing with?
I'm comparing with guys like Charlie or Josie Altidore, or Maurice Adu and Landon Donovan, of course, and Stuart Holden.
But you connect a lot on Twitter with the other players.
Yeah. It's a way to connect with each other. You know, we connect with each other through we have Blackberries and stuff, phones, but through Twitter and Facebook, it's the easiest way to connect through each other.
You know, in the Swedish national team, when they are gathered, they're not allowed to go out on Twitter or writing blogs. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I think I don't think that's a strange rule. I think I would have to accept that. I know our national team coach is not fond of it. I know he doesn't really like it at all.
But you still do, all of you players in the U.S. national team?
Yeah, we still do it. I mean, it is, they let us know it's up to us, but you never want to go out with, lineups or, people might have injured. Of course, yeah, but people still do that, and that's why you get in trouble.
But still, if you go out with any information, you would easily know who it is, because, it's obvious.
Was it Altidore who was in a little bit of a trouble when he went out on the Twitter because he was dropped from the team? And
right, exactly. Things like that. So, things like that you don't really think about. You just, sitting on your computer, you might be pissed off or, just whatever, and something comes to your mind, you just write it, and you don't think twice about it. But
but it's good for us on the outside.
Of course it is. You guys live off of this type of stuff, so it's not bad. But I always try to watch out what I'm going to post and see if it's going to come out really bad or how people might take it.
Do you read John Alvbåge's blog?
I read it from time to time, actually. Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah,
character.
But he can. Do you think that's a difficulty when he has his views from the dressing room and you don't always agree?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, but then I think that's the reason why you have a blog or like I would have Twitter. It's to see what it's like. What people think. Sometimes I think many people think that the players or stuff have it so easily and we're robots or something. But of course we're human also. You want to. As a kid growing up, I used to want to know what the famous basketball players and football players, American football players would do and stuff. And now with Twitter, it makes it so much easier. Because
in the U.S., and we've both been there working, going to a professional basketball match, American football or baseball, whatever, you could talk to the players and they're very open just 5 minutes after a match or 10 minutes after the match. And in Europe, as you know, I don't know about Örebro, but in the big hotshot teams in Europe, you're sometimes not allowed to even talk to the players at all. For example, due to the Barcelona, Real Madrid 4 times in a row, Pep has said no interviews at all until these matches are gone. It's a different way of looking at it. And how do you look at it? It was a long question, I know.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. I think it's interesting because, a lot of times, like I said, interviews and media and stuff is a way to connect with from players to the audience, to fans and stuff. But I think in the States, that's the way we look at it, and everybody wants to know what's going on. And even though in interviews after the games, there's a lot of emotion and stuff, so you might say the wrong things and stuff. But that's another side of the player as well, and I think you have to learn to cope with that. And I don't think I really agree with Pep's decision but I'm sure he doesn't want to create any controversy or stuff.
Do you think it's wrong by clubs in Europe to stop, like in the Premier League? They hardly send out any players during the week or hardly after the game either. Do you think that's wrong?
I don't think it's wrong. I think it differs from people. I think it's about
the diplomat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the diplomat from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. My God, it's Hillary Clinton here. Secretary of State.
Yes
sir.
No?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, one nation under God.
It's funny, Lasse, our assistant coach, calls me Bush all the time.
Yeah. You should be more Fox News. It's not the political correct.
But I think it's.
We want
is
Fox
it good
News.
or is it bad?
I think it's good.
What?
That they have a stamp on it.
Okay.
Sometimes players have to be focused. There's a time and place to talk.
So you want to close the dressing room?
But there's got to be a limit. There's got to be a limit.
So what would you think would happen if an NHL team, for example, would say, "Oh, stop," for about a month?
Well, they probably
the new Ukrainian players
they would probably go broke, as the way the NHL is going right now. It's not looking so good.
Silencio stampa.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I think interviews are great, but I think sometimes people, the journalists, the media gets carried away. I know in Örebro we have, we draw a line, you cannot enter, but then we still see media people, somehow they follow a player into the locker room, and then they're inside our.
Listen, how many media people would you say you see in Örebro following players?
I'm saying after a game, there might be guys from, Aftonbladet, Expressen and stuff. And
watch out for those guys.
Yeah, watch out for those guys. There's so many.
He used to work for one of those.
I did not.
No, but I'm saying some of those guys, they be in there while we're changing inside the meeting room and stuff. There's got to be a limit somehow.
Yeah.
I think the Swedish referees, sometimes I think they're, so bad or something. I had the same situation with him against Djurgården last year. I think the ball was in the corner and I hit it off the Djurgården player, but the linesman, signaled it was Djurgården ball when it was so obvious our ball. And I turned around and looked at the linesman and said, "Are you kidding me? Something so simple." Didn't curse at him, nothing, and he flagged or whatever. He talked in his microphone, and the referee came over and gave me a yellow card. I think it's lame. I think they don't have high tolerance. You can't. You see in other leagues people go crazy, and okay, Zlatan the other day he did something, but I think he said something bad. But I don't think there's. If I'm not cursing at the guy directly at the referee or saying anything bad, why can't I express my emotion? These games hide.
How about swearing, which is on the headlines nowadays? Rooney.
Rooney. But I think that's a little bit stupid. I think. Okay.
What is stupid? Him swearing or the whatever?
I think the ban that he got was swearing. I think it's a high emotional match. The fact that the cameras, and the microphone recorded him saying that and stuff. I think. In this day and age, it's 2011. I think you got kids 5 years old cursing already. I don't think it's a big deal to say "F off." Like when something happens, it's high in emotion and things happen. But I think you're not saying anything about somebody's mom or anything, which I can think is very insulting. But you're just, expressing your emotion in the moment.
So how often do you use the F word during a match?
A lot. I curse a lot.
One every minute.
One every minute, whenever.
If you go with the whatever English rules they have in the Premier League rules, you would be having a yellow card for saying the F word.
Yeah, you get a suspension.
Or you would, you would think they do, but I don't think they do it. You hear it all the time.
Yeah,
I can hear from my TV players screaming "F dad, F off, whatever, blah blah blah." Nothing's done. I don't think it's a big deal, but.
Now we want to know about this Bosman disease in Örebro.
You're
a whole group of players just sucking out your contracts and then off to the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what you would like to think, but no, I don't think it's like that. I think it's more to say ÖSK, put themselves in that kind of situation by it just so happens that 4 guys on the team or I don't even know if it's more, are ending. Their contracts are ending this year.
But it's kind of central, guys. Alvborga, Almabek, Gasic, and you.
Yeah, it's just the way it works. But like I said, I think it's a little bit ÖSK's fault that happened like that. I think for me, people want to say if you leave Bosman, you're not giving back to the club that made you something. But then again, I wasn't the one that wanted a 3-year contract. Why didn't they want to sign a 4-year deal or There's also a balance between, a club taking a risk. And, the first thing you learn in business school now is the greater the risk, the greater the return, on return on investment. So maybe if they would have took a greater risk, maybe they would have had a better situation. I would have 2 more years left, 3 more years.
Do you want to go this summer, or are you waiting for this?
I wouldn't say I'm rushing to go, but when I first came here, there was no secret that I came here to Sweden to establish myself, develop, and move on to the next step.
Could you see yourself moving to like Malmö or like a bigger...
Another Swedish team?
Yeah.
I would say no, but I wouldn't put it out of question if I would. That could possibly happen, you know.
Well, how many teams are there that are bigger nowadays? That's a question.
Than Örebro?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I don't think many. I think, like I've said before, I think when we play our best football and we have our best guys playing at the highest level, I don't think there's any team that could beat us.
No, but salary-wise, Örebro is quite, yeah. That's what I mean.
That's
with a bigger club,
I think, and with the
bigger pay packet.
Exactly, and with the the signing a 3-year contract or maybe 2-year deals, or I think a lot of people were upset with Astrid last year that they only signed 6 months. Maybe their thinking has to change a little bit of being a little bit less conservative. And just,
so Birmingham is coming up in the Premier League.
Maybe, I don't know.
Close.
It's fun. Close. Well, they'll be.
This
watching closely.
This is you can have your Bossman cash in.
Bossman cash. Put it right here.
Yeah.
I'll take it home.
That's a couple.